Someone slammed me into the lockers so hard my head bounced off the metal. I hit the floor, and a kid I didn't recognize kicked me in the ribs, and I curled up, and another kick landed on my back. I tried to stand, and someone shoved me down, and I skidded across the tile on my hands and knees. Blood from my lip was dripping onto the floor. I looked up, and Brooke was 10 feet away watching, and I screamed her name, and she turned and walked in the other direction. I crawled toward her, and someone stomped on my hand, and I heard something crack, and then I woke up. I was sitting up in bed, drenched in sweat, shaking, gripping the sheets so hard my fingers ached. The room was dark. Oliver rolled over across from me. "You okay?" "Yeah, bad dream. Must have been a rough one. You were talking in your sleep." He propped himself on his elbow. "Want me to get you water or something?" "No, I'm fine." He lay back down. "Go back to sleep. Everything's fine." His voice was calm and kind, and I believed him because why wouldn't I? I grabbed my phone off the nightstand and texted Brooke. "You up?" 3 dots. "It's 2 a.m. you weirdo. Just wanted to say you're my favorite person. You're my favorite person. Now go to sleep." I put the phone down and let my heart slow down. Bad dream. Just a bad dream. Brooke came over the next afternoon and brought a photo of us at the pier, the two of us with the sun behind us, and she'd written on the back in silver marker, "My favorite person." I taped it to the wall above my desk. "Your stepbrother is intense," she said, leaning against me while Oliver typed across the room with his headphones on. "He's just quiet. He was staring at me when I came in. He stares at everyone. He's awkward." She shrugged and I kissed the top of her head. At dinner, Phil raised his glass. 6 months under one roof and nobody's killed each other. Mom laughed. Oliver smiled into his plate. I clinked my glass against Phil's because he was trying, and I wanted him to know I noticed. The hallway went wrong before I made it to my locker. A kid I'd never spoken to crossed to the other side to avoid me, and then another kid did the same thing, and then a sophomore held up his phone and turned the screen toward me, and I saw my own face saying words I'd never said in my life. My bedroom behind me, the photo of Brooke visible on the wall, my voice coming out of the speaker saying racist slurs aimed at a kid named Devin who sat behind me in history. "That's not me." The kid pulled his phone back. "Dude, it's literally your face. I know it's my face. I'm telling you I never said those words." He shrugged and walked away, and I stood there with my knees going weak because the room in the video was my room, filmed from an angle I'd never set up a camera at, and the photo Brooke gave me 3 weeks ago was visible on the wall in the background. Whoever made this had been filming inside my bedroom while I slept. I grabbed a locker handle to stay standing. Brooke was at my locker with red eyes. "Is there something you want to tell me? That video is fake. It's your face, your room. I can see the photo I gave you on the wall behind you. Brooke, I am telling you someone manufactured that video. I have never said those words in my life." She looked at me and said, "I want to believe you." And the "want to" hit me in the chest because 3 days ago she'd written "my favorite person" on the back of a photo, and now she couldn't look at me. She walked away, and my best friend Kai gave me a wide berth at lunch, and the seat next to me stayed empty, and I ate alone and stared at the table and thought about how the hallway parted for me like I was radioactive, which would be flattering if the reason wasn't that everyone thought I was a monster. A second video dropped that afternoon. I was in the library when my phone buzzed with a link, and I opened it and watched myself threaten a girl I'd never spoken to in the school parking lot. The girl's mother called the school within an hour. A third video 2 days later. Me, mocking a kid with cerebral palsy named James, imitating his walk, laughing. I watched that one alone in my room and threw my phone at the wall because James had never done anything to anyone, and I was laughing at him. Each video was worse than the last. The first took Brooke. The second emptied my lunch table. The third got me pulled into the principal's office while James's parents watched from the lobby, and his mother looked at me through the glass with a hatred so pure it burned, and I pressed my hand against the lobby wall because I wanted to walk in there and say, "I would never hurt your son." But the person in that video had my exact face and my exact voice, and he was hurting her son, and the fact that it wasn't really me didn't change the damage. The principal suspended me. I stood across his desk and said, "Those videos are fake," and he said, "They appear authentic," and I said, "Reviewed by who? The guy who troubleshoots printers?" His face tightened. "You're suspended pending investigation." I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall. "I didn't do this. The person who actually did it is sitting somewhere right now making more videos while you suspend the kid whose face got stolen. You're punishing the victim." I walked out through a hallway where everyone pressed against the walls, and I kept my eyes straight ahead because if I looked at anyone, I was going to start screaming. Oliver was sitting on his bed when I got home. "I heard about the suspension. I'm really sorry." "Yeah, want me to look at the videos? I know some stuff about editing." He watched them on my phone, headphones in, scrolling carefully, and after 20 minutes he handed it back and shook his head. "They look real. I'm sorry." He said it with this careful, sad expression, and I almost thanked thanked him, but a cold feeling settled in my stomach. He'd dismissed them too fast. Kai, who actually edited video, hadn't even seen them yet, and Oliver had scrolled through 3 deepfakes and declared them genuine in 20 minutes. I pushed the thought down because he was my stepbrother, and the idea was insane. That night, I lay in bed watching the first video frame by frame while Oliver slept 6 feet away. The camera angle was wrong. It was filming from Oliver's side of the room, from the height of his desk. I looked across at his desk in the dark. A small black webcam was clipped to the top of his monitor, the lens angled at my pillow. My blood froze. I sat up slowly. The photo of Brooke was visible from exactly that angle, which explained why it appeared in the video. I looked at Oliver sleeping, his face peaceful, his breathing even, and the suspicion I'd been fighting since dinner turned into certainty because the webcam he'd told me was for a coding class was pointed at the exact spot where my face was every single night. I took the videos to Kai at a coffee shop because he didn't want his parents seeing us together. I slid my laptop across the table. Frame by frame, watched the jawline. Kai scrubbed through with headphones in, and his expression shifted from uncomfortable to focused to sharp. He pulled the headphones out. Rendering artifacts, jaw and ear margins. These are AI generated. He rubbed his face. I've been avoiding you for 2 weeks because I thought, I know what you thought. I'm sorry. Help me find who did it and we're even. He nodded, and I could see the guilt on his face like sunburn. 2 weeks of avoiding me when I needed someone in my corner. For what it's worth, he said, you're the least racist person I know, and I should have known those videos were garbage. Yeah, you should have. I know. But you're here now, and that counts. He zoomed in on the background. The footage was captured from about 4 feet off the ground, slightly left. That's not your desk. No, it's not. I changed the Wi-Fi password, taped over my laptop camera, checked my phone for spyware. If someone was hacking the webcam remotely, I was going to cut them off. 2 days later, a 4th video dropped, and it included footage from after I changed the password, which meant it wasn't remote access. It was someone with physical access to the room. I sat in my car in the school parking lot and stared at my hands on the wheel because the list of people with physical access to my bedroom was exactly 3, and 2 of them were my parents. I told my mom, showed her the artifacts, the camera angle, the webcam on Oliver's monitor. She went pale. Are you sure? The webcam is pointed at my bed. Please, we're finally a family. If you accuse him, I'm being destroyed, Mom. I got suspended. Brooke left. I eat lunch alone. And you want me to protect the family vibe? Just let me talk to Phil. She talked to Phil. Phil came to my room and stood in the doorway with his arms crossed. You're not going to blame my son because you got caught on camera. There's a webcam aimed at my pillow. That's for his coding class. At the angle of my bed, Phil stepped into the room. You've been trying to push Oliver out since the wedding. I clinked my glass at dinner when you said this family was working, Phil. I was happy, and Oliver was sitting across from me at that table filming me. I defended Oliver. I stuck up for him when kids at school called him weird. I formatted his homework. Phil walked out. The next morning, Oliver's computer was gone. Phil had hidden it overnight. Oliver knocked on our door that afternoon holding a plate of cookies. Phil said, you're going through a lot. He set them on my nightstand and sat on his bed. I've been thinking about who could do this. There's a kid in my coding class who talks about deepfake software all the time. His name's Mitchell. He's in your English class, right? I looked at him. Mitchell did sit behind me in history. Maybe. I could ask around if you want. Quietly. Sure, thanks. He nodded, helpful, concerned. Then, did your friend Kai find anything? I looked at him. Why? Just curious. I hope he can help. The second tell. Why did he care what Kai found? Nothing yet. I lied. Too bad. I spent 2 days looking into Mitchell. Talked to kids in his coding class. Checked his social media. Complete dead end, because Mitchell could barely code a website, let alone render deepfakes. Oliver had sent me chasing a ghost. He picked up a book and started reading, and I sat 6 feet away from a person who was asking for progress reports on the investigation into himself. Devin's older brother caught me in the school parking lot. He walked up and shoved me into my car so hard the side mirror snapped off and clattered to the asphalt. He grabbed my jacket and slammed me against the door. Say that stuff to my face. His brother had a panic attack and missed a week of school. He pulled me forward and drove me back into the door a second time. My lip split on my own teeth and blood ran down my chin. And I didn't fight back because if anyone filmed me throwing a punch, it would become the next evidence. So I stood there and bled for something I never did. A girl walking to her car stopped and stared. A teacher on parking lot duty turned the other way because nobody wanted to be seen helping me. I wiped the blood off my chin with the back of my hand and picked my backpack up off the ground and drove home with my lips swelling and the taste of copper in my mouth and the radio off because music felt like it belonged to someone else's life. Brooke called that night while I held ice against my swollen lip. The third video. You're wearing the blue Henley. So? You donated that shirt last spring. I was with you at Goodwill. You haven't haven't owned it in 8 months. I pressed the phone against my ear. Brooke, I'm not saying I'm back, but something doesn't add up, and I'm sorry it took me this long to see it. I hung up and sat in the dark, and something Kai said echoed back. Whoever filmed this was on the other side of your room. Mitchell couldn't code a website. The fourth video used footage from after I changed the Wi-Fi password. Oliver had offered to analyze the videos and dismissed them in 20 minutes. Oliver had suggested Mitchell. Oliver had asked what Kai found. I pressed my palms against my eyes because the list of people who could do this had been one name long the entire time, and I'd spent weeks refusing to read it. I set the trap at dinner. I loaded my fork with pasta and said, Kai traced the rendering software to a specific IP address. The police are requesting a warrant. I didn't look at Oliver, but in my peripheral vision, his fork paused for a fraction of a second. Phil looked up. What does that mean? They can trace the exact computer that made the videos. Every file has a digital signature. Oliver chewed slowly. That's great news. His voice was perfectly supportive, but under the table, his knee was bouncing so fast the silverware rattled, and I gripped my fork and thought, gotcha. I pretended to fall asleep that night. I lay on my back with my eyes closed and my jaw clenched so tight my teeth ached, listening to Oliver breathe 6 feet away and counting the seconds between each exhale, because if I didn't focus on something specific, I was going to get up and flip his mattress over. At 2 a.m., his bed creaked, blankets sliding off, bare feet on carpet. He stood beside his bed for a long time, and I kept my breathing slow, because one wrong breath would blow everything. The bedroom door opened a crack, and he slipped through. I counted to 30 because careful people check behind them. Then I followed, down the hallway in the dark, shoulder against the wall, testing each floorboard with my toe. The garage door opened downstairs. I went down the steps one at a time, gripping the banister. A yellow line of light under the garage door. I crouched and looked through the gap. Phil had hidden the computer on a shelf behind the toolbox, and Oliver had it open on the workbench deleting files. His face was lit blue by the screen, and his hands moved fast, clicking and dragging, emptying folders. The IP trap had worked. He thought the police were coming, and he was destroying evidence at 2 in the morning in his pajamas. I watched for 3 minutes. Then I pushed the garage door open. Find anything interesting? He spun around and knocked the mouse off the workbench. His face was pure terror. Phil asked you to delete files at 2 a.m. He backed against the shelf. I walked to the computer. Folders organized by name. Mine at the top, 6 others below it. I opened raw footage and found hundreds of clips of me, sleeping, studying, changing my shirt. My face cataloged by expression, anger, surprise, talking left, talking right. He'd mapped me like a lab specimen. My own face, the face Brooke kissed, the face my mom held in her hands when I was little, reduced to data points in a folder. I opened Final and found finished deepfakes I'd never seen, worse than the released ones, including one where I confessed to a crime. He had a pipeline. I opened the next student's folder, same structure, then another, 7 students, each one a complete operation. Each folder I opened landed like a blow because this wasn't anger and it wasn't revenge. This was a hobby. I looked at Oliver pressed against the shelf. Why? He shook his head. Why? Devon's brother split my lip open. Brooke won't look at me. I sit by myself every day. James had a panic attack. Why? His chin trembled. You got everything. Mom loves you. Phil tries with you. Everyone knows your name. I've been in that room for 2 years and you don't even see me. I defended you, Oliver. I stuck up for you at school. I helped you with your homework, and you were filming me in my sleep. He slid down the shelf to the garage floor. I just wanted someone to notice me. 7 people, Oliver. Were all of them ignoring you too? He didn't answer. Devon's little brother had a panic attack. James couldn't come to school for a week. A girl's mother called the police. Did any of that matter to you? He whispered. I didn't think it would get that bad. You didn't think? I grabbed the edge of the workbench so hard my fingers ached. You sat across from me at dinner and asked if I was having a rough day while you had a folder on your hard drive called My Name. I unplugged the drive. People are going to notice you now. I brought the drive to my mom. Then I called the police. The school scheduled an assembly where I was supposed to apologize. I drove myself. The hard drive was already with the police. They'd told me they were sending officers to the school. I walked into the auditorium and every seat was full. Devon in the front row, Brooke in the back, Oliver in the middle section, slouched low, performing calm. The principal pointed me to the podium. I adjusted the mic and looked out at 400 people who thought I was a monster. The school's apology was in my pocket. I left it there. I'm supposed to say sorry for things I didn't do. Instead, I'm going to tell you how those videos were made. The room shifted. Deepfake software needs a training set. Hundreds of photos and videos of the target's face captured over months. You'd need constant access. You'd need to share a room with the person. Oliver's hands gripped his armrests. You'd need a webcam pointing pointed at their bed, filming them sleeping and changing clothes without their knowledge. You'd need to catalog their face by expression, label each one, and build a model so precise that the target's own girlfriend can't tell the difference. In the background of the first video, you can see a photo on the wall. It's a photo my girlfriend gave me for our anniversary. She wrote, "My favorite person" on the back. The person who filmed me captured that photo while I was sleeping and used it as set dressing for a video that made her leave me. I looked at Brooke in the back row. She was crying. I looked at Oliver. His face was white. This wasn't a prank. This was a project. 7 students at this school had their faces harvested and their identities weaponized. I found the files. I found the software, and I gave everything to the police this morning. Oliver stood up. His chair scraped the floor. Every head turned. He looked at me, and his mouth opened and nothing came out, and he shoved past people and sprinted for the exit. He slammed through the double doors, and they banged against the walls, and 400 people watched him run. He made it to the parking lot. 2 officers were leaning against their car, waiting. I couldn't see it from inside, but I heard about it later from 3 different people. He ran through the school doors and stopped dead when he saw the cruiser. He turned to go back inside, and a 3rd officer was standing behind him. He sat down on the curb and put his head in his hands. He was still sitting there when they put him in the car. A sophomore told me later that Oliver didn't resist. He just sat on the curb with his head in his hands and waited. And when the officer said, "Stand up," he stood up. And when they opened the car door, he got in. And he never looked back at the school. Devin stood up in the front row. He looked at the doors, then at me. "That was your stepbrother? We shared a bedroom for 2 years." He sat down and put his head in his hands. James was crying. The girl from the second video had her hand over her mouth. A teacher was on her phone. The principal stood at the side of the stage and didn't take the microphone away. Phil showed up at the house that evening with his jaw set. He packed a suitcase while my mom sat at the kitchen table. He walked past me in the hallway and stopped. "You destroyed this family. Your son filmed me sleeping, Phil. He cataloged my face by expression. He built videos of me confessing to crimes. He did it to 6 other kids. And when I told you, you hid his computer and called me a liar." Phil's grip tightened on the suitcase. "He's 14. Devin's brother split my lip open in a parking lot because of what your 14-year-old made. I got suspended. Brooke left. Nobody would sit with me." I stepped closer. "I defended your son at school. I helped him with his homework. I said goodnight to him every night for 2 years, and he repaid me by recording me in my sleep. Your son destroyed 7 kids. I told the truth. Those aren't the same thing." He walked out, and the door clicked shut. Mom and I sat across from each other at the kitchen table. Oliver's chair was empty. Phil's mug was in the sink. She looked at me with mascara streaked down her face. "I should have believed you from the first day." "Yeah, what do you need?" I touched my lip where the scar was forming. "I need people to stop seeing me as the person in those videos. The school is sending, an email doesn't fix it, Mom. Those videos are online forever. Someone will Google my name in 10 years and find them." She closed her eyes. "What can I do? You're doing it. You're sitting here." She took my hand and held it with both of hers. "I'm not going anywhere. I know. Do you?" "Yeah, Mom, I know." She squeezed tighter and her chin trembled. "I picked Phil because I thought he was safe. I thought he'd be good for us. He wasn't. No." She looked at Oliver's empty chair. Neither of them was. Brooke texted that night. "I should have believed you." I stared at the message. I thought about typing something angry. Instead, I wrote, "You noticed the Henley before anyone else. You said it when it mattered." She replied, "Can I come over?" "Yeah." I sat on my bed in the room I finally had to myself. Oliver's desk was empty. The webcam was gone. The wall had a clean rectangle where his monitor used to be. The photo of Brooke was still taped above my desk. The pier, the sun behind us, my favorite person, on the back in silver marker. I touched it with my fingertip. Then I heard Brooke's car pull into the driveway. I went downstairs and opened the front door, and she was standing on the porch with the porch light on her face, and she looked at me and said, "Hi," and I said, "Hi," and she stepped inside and put her arms around me and held on, and I held on back. She was the first person to touch me in weeks who wasn't trying to hurt me.